Hey everyone, divorce is a significant life event, and for expatriates and foreigners living in Singapore, the legal process can be complex. Many people assume that they can file for divorce anywhere they choose, but in reality, there are legal restrictions based on jurisdiction. In today's discussion, we will explore whether foreigners can divorce in Singapore, the legal principles that apply, and the implications of cross-border divorces. For a divorce case to be heard in Singapore, the court must have jurisdiction. This means that at least one of the spouses must have a sufficient legal connection to Singapore. This connection can be established through domicile or habitual residence. Domicile refers to a person's permanent home, a place where they intend to reside indefinitely. Staying in Singapore for work or study does not automatically confer domicile status. Singapore citizens are generally presumed to be domiciled in Singapore unless they have made clear and settled arrangements to live permanently elsewhere. For instance, a Singaporean who moves to London for a few years for work but intends to return to Singapore is still considered domiciled in Singapore. In contrast, a foreigner who has lived in Singapore for 20 years, built a life here, and intends to retire here may be able to argue that he is domiciled in Singapore. Habitual residence is another way to establish a legal connection to Singapore for divorce purposes. A person is considered habitually resident if they have lived in Singapore continuously for at least 3 years before filing for divorce. This residence must be voluntary and for a settled purpose, such as employment, business, or family life. Short holidays or business trips do not break the continuity, but long absences may. In the case of Lee Mei Chi, the wife had spent 12 months out of the 3 years abroad, and the court ruled that this broke her habitual residence, making her ineligible to file for divorce in Singapore. If a foreigner wants to file for divorce in Singapore, they must carefully assess whether they meet the domicile or habitual residence requirements before proceeding. In an increasingly globalized world, many couples who divorce have connections to multiple countries, and foreign divorces often create legal complications. If a couple has already divorced in another country, they cannot re-divorce in Singapore. A foreign divorce decree is usually recognized in Singapore, provided it was granted by a court with a genuine connection to the marriage. Some couples attempt to file for divorce in a jurisdiction that offers them more favorable terms, such as lower spousal maintenance obligations or better child custody laws. This practice, known as forum shopping, can be problematic. If a Singaporean spouse believes that their foreign partner is trying to gain an unfair advantage by filing for divorce overseas, they may be able to block the foreign divorce and seek jurisdiction in Singapore instead. For example, a British expat married to a Singaporean might attempt to divorce in the UK because UK courts are known to award higher maintenance for spouses. If the marriage has a strong connection to Singapore, the Singaporean spouse may ask the Singapore courts to assert jurisdiction, preventing the UK divorce from proceeding. Cross-border divorces are not only legally complex, but also emotionally challenging. Legal battles that span multiple jurisdictions can prolong the process and add to the distress of those involved. Beyond the legal aspects, divorce is a deeply personal experience that can shake a person's sense of stability and future. Just as everything in life is subject to change, relationships also evolve, sometimes in unexpected ways. Many people struggle with divorce because they cling to the past, unable to accept the present reality. However, just as a river does not cling to the rocks it passes, people too must learn to let go of attachments that no longer serve their current well-being. Instead of seeing divorce as a failure, it can be viewed as a transformation, an opportunity for peace and renewal. If a person is facing a cross-border divorce, it is essential to seek professional legal advice and to understand the jurisdictional implications before proceeding. More importantly, while change is inevitable, suffering is optional. By embracing life's uncertainties with wisdom, one can find new paths forward even in difficult times. Thanks for joining me in this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.